Hello and welcome to Manic Movies, a series where we talk about the maddest of movies. I'm Ryanimaniac, and welcome back to the Road to the Endgame, where we're taking a look at all the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to the events of Avengers Endgame. In this episode, we will be taking a look at Doctor Strange from 2016. So the story of this film is about Dr. Stephen Strange, who's this world-renowned, super famous, super genius neurosurgeon who can pretty much perform any surgery whatsoever because he has pretty much the most steady hands any neurosurgeon could ever have, and pretty much any seemingly impossible operations he can pull off. Just this genius level intellect, such a great talent. Only problem, he only ever wants to use it for his own self and, make himself look better by taking on these super high renowned cases, in which case it will make him more popular. But all that changes when one day he gets into a horrible car accident that destroys his hands, and then he proceeds to pretty much throw away all his money and dedicate everything to fixing his hands so he can go back to being a neurosurgeon. But when pretty much every known medical help he can find pretty much leads to nothing, he ends up going to someone known as the Ancient One, who will teach him the ways of sorcery. And so it's him learning to become a sorcerer while also stopping a former pupil of the Ancient Ones from summoning a dark entity known as Dormammu, who will suck up the Earth and all the other realms into his dark dimension. So the main general setup does sound a lot like the first Iron Man, and I'm not gonna lie, for the most part it does play out a little bit the same, but he's not just a copy-paste Tony Stark. Whereas, the original, in Iron Man, he instantly transforms and says, okay, I'm not going to be making weapons anymore, and dedicates his entire existence to the Iron Man suit. Whereas Stephen Strange, after his accident, pretty much dedicates to, I need to fix my hand so I can go back to my old life. And it's only through when he begins learning the ways of sorcery that, his mind starts to change, and he has to pretty much reset his entire way of living and stop being so selfish and think about other people and helping them. So, I guess it's not a copy-paste of Tony Stark. It is very much its own character with his own struggles and trying to learn to not be selfish, and also, using his powers, his newfound powers, to help others. Along with that, you have his teacher, known as the Ancient One, this sorcerer who has been around for, as the film states, centuries. And she's been passing on this knowledge to other ones, but also she's got secrets of her own, and no one quite knows exactly what her whole background is. And she's also trying to help Stephen understand the way the world really works, and teaching him more about the quantum realms and all that sort of such. We also got a couple other characters to the side, like Mordo, who's another sorcerer training alongside Strange, and you got Wong, who runs the library. But they don't really have a whole lot to do with the film aside from sort of being help. They're cool in their own right. Wong gets a little bit more development in Infinity War, I guess. And Mordo, I would assume, given the way the film ends, implies he's going to be delved more into with the Doctor Strange sequels and such. The villain in this film is, sadly though, yet another forgettable Marvel villain. He's, just sort of there. His reasonings are very vague as to what he wants to do, and he just doesn't really have that interesting of a look to him. It's something like he wants to summon Dormammu so that the whole universe can live on for eternity or something like that. But for the most part, he is very forgettable. I mean, he does sort of have kind of understandable motivations, but for the most part, there's not really much presence to him to even make him that strong of a villain. Even in the end, he doesn't even end up being the final villain that Strange fights. He just is one of Dormammu's lackeys, and Strange has the famous scene, the Dormammu I've come to bargain scene, where he's pretty much in the time loop with Dormammu. So even then, he's not that strong of a villain. I will say the strongest thing this film has compared to a lot of the other MCU films, though, is that it is extremely visually impressive. Like, you've had stuff like Asgard and all these other big environments that look real nice, but then this film does something very different in that it takes environments that are very simple and starts twisting and bending them to reality. You see building, like, they're fighting in New York in the film, and they're in this dimension where they can warp things around them, but the rest of the world, the real world, isn't actually affected. And so you get to see, like, buildings being twisted and archways extending and twisting and converting. It's hard really to explain, but it's so really impressive. It's so good to look at. It is a film I'm sad I didn't get to see in 3D when it was out, because that would have been amazing. It's just so interesting to see the buildings twisting and folding and collapsing in on themselves, and new platforms being made and all that sort of thing. And even included with their magic. The magic is also pretty cool, with them, summoning discs and shields and weapons and such. And the whole sling ring thing, that's pretty cool. Just about everyone in the film does give a good performance. Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange was a really good choice, I feel. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, she did a very good job. Benedict Wong as Wong did a good job. The actor for Mordo did good. I just don't really think there was a lot to his character to really work off too much, but like I said, they might do more of that in the sequel. Stan Lee's cameo in this film is in a portion in which Strange and Mordo are fighting Caecilius and his disciples in New York. They end up running or being thrown up against the side of a bus, in which Stan Lee is inside reading a book and replies, "That's hilarious," while completely oblivious to the fight going on outside. But all in all, I thought this was a really good film. The story itself is sort of one we've seen a lot of times, but like I said, the main appeal to this movie is just the visuals and seeing them doing the sorcery and reality bending. It's so creative and imaginative, just seeing all of New York being twisted and contorted in all these different ways. You can't really describe it, you just have to sort of see it for yourself. But the rest of the film is pretty good on its own. It's still better than some of the earlier films, but it was a really good film, I think. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you can feel free to leave a like down below. You can feel free to subscribe to see more videos like this. You can check out my other series, or the other videos of this Road to the End game, or the rest of the Manic Movies in general. You can check out some of my gaming videos, or whatever else I put up on this channel at the moment, I don't know. Or you can leave a comment down below giving a suggestion of something I should look at, like a movie or game, or pretty much any sort of medium that I might hold interest in, because you might have a suggestion for something I might have something to say about. I don't know. Leave it down below, and we'll see where it goes. But anyways, with all that being said, stay sane in the insane world, and I'll see all you little loonies later.